morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on what time zone you're in or what time you're watching this video. Today we are back with Rae Jepsen. Is that title wrong? No, it's Rae Jepsen. She's back with a song called Kollage, which a cousin of mine showed me, and it is very different. And when we were kind of listening to it, we thought, wow, these lyrics are pretty cool. This would be fun to break down. And so here we are. I hope you enjoy the vibe, because that's probably the best word for this. It is definitely an experience. So without further ado, let's experience it. Hope you're all doing well. Love you all. Let's get into it. This just feels so wavy.
With all its flowers reaching closer past the surface, like I'm slowly getting closer to you.
I love how she says that, because it's like reaching closer to the surface, and you almost imagine before she says getting close to you, it's actually like it makes it sound like the flowers are growing close to the surface, but really it's her reaching close to the surface of the canvas, because she's reaching out to the sun, which she imagines as the person she's in love with. She imagines as you know what I mean? And so we immediately get an imagery of exactly what this person means to her. They are the sun. They are what casts light, what gives life to everything that grows, right? And you also get a sense of something is amiss, because she's reaching out to that image rather than the person themselves, which is not something that we would expect. So something is definitely wrong. And it's carried by this like hypnotic wave-like beat, but that's kind of melancholic. There's this like somber sadness to it. It's not overt, but it's subtle enough that you can sense it. Oh, I love that. That's such a great opening. And it's not what I expected from Rae Jepsen, but I'm really excited that she's exploring this. This is super cool. This wave.
Living with uncertainty, like nothing really matters past the future. On my way to work and find myself in bed with you. Past the future on my way to work. I love how she says that, because it's like while she was driving or while she was on the bus or whatever, walking, her thoughts still linger back to this person, right? But we're imagining being back in bed with them in the future. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to go back. We don't even want to really be going to work, because our mind is with them. We want to go back to wherever it is where they are. And it's living with uncertainty, like nothing really matters. And so when everything is unsure, you're like, oh, man, what's the point, right? And that's kind of the sense that you're starting to develop, is that you're so unsure of literally everything. Everything feels so frail and fragile and delicate in this moment, and you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. And so as a result, everything feels like it doesn't even matter, because what are you to do in that kind of a delicate situation? Oh, so good. So good. We get a brightness. And if you weren't sure whether this person is kind of away from her in this moment, we're told right away here, right? We're told that we're basically lost in the dark, right? We've been kind of we haven't found our home in this darkness because our light is gone. And so we're also lost in wintertime, where there's more darkness than there is light. And so we're getting all these parallels to nature, and just, it's almost like that's the nature of their love in this moment. That's so cool. And I love that she says paralyzed devotion and then paralyzed in motion, because it's like, it's almost like for herself, she's like, feels like a deer caught in headlights, right? Where that's that moment where you want to go, but you also feel like you can't. And so you're trapped. And so you're in that moment where you're kind of still trying to figure out whether you make a move or not, because it's so delicate that if you make a move and something goes wrong, everything could fall apart. And that's not what we want right now. Oh, man. Do it to myself. Hard to know for sure. Did I hurt somebody else? 'Cause you're the one thing nothing really matters but
That's beautiful.
But I believe you're always in my corner.
I love that. It's like through everything, even if things are so like broken in this moment, even if things feel like they're falling apart, I still feel like you're there for me. And that's the kind of love that you want in your life, right? Like someone who, when times are grim and times are dark, that they're still there in your corner for you. But I love that she says it like, did I do it to myself? It's hard to know, because now we're almost like, we're not given exactly what it was that caused the harm. And it's almost like that's done intentionally to give us the ability to kind of paint the picture ourselves, which is ironic because we were painting a picture a moment ago. And so it's like now we're allowed to kind of paint our own idea of what happened. And it almost gives us a chance to explore our own biases or our own understanding of ourselves, which is a really cool way to do that. And then we get, did I hurt somebody else? Right after saying, did I do it to myself? And it's kind of interesting because we're getting these ideas that she's kind of bridging this individual with herself in her mind, that they're becoming almost the same person. And that's just how much in love she is. That's so cool. Oh man. And then nothing really matters, but it matters if it matters to you. So even though in all this chaos, if I feel like nothing matters, even amidst that, in my uncertainty, if it matters to you, then it matters to me, because I'll always be in your corner. You know what I mean? So even now in this darkness, in this dark moment, even though we're going through all this stuff, I'm still in your corner, because anything that matters to you matters to me. I love that. Oh man. So good.
I did it to myself. I did it to you.
And there it is. I did it to myself. I did it to you. We've kind of fused the idea of this person and herself, and we are now one entity. That's how close we are. Oh. The one other thing that I forgot to mention earlier is she does such a good job of carrying the emotion in the voice that we really get a good sense of kind of how she's feeling. Even if we didn't know what she was saying, you can still get an idea. Like if you didn't speak English, you still know that she feels like hurt. And that kind of comes out of the lyrics themselves, just from the way that she's doing it, just from the way that she's presenting it. I love that. And then she says, I can be enchanted by the little thing, by the simple things, right? By all the things that are not so complex. And that's what she wants right now in this moment. That's what she wants to be enchanted by, something just simple. But then on top of that, it's like watching the way the fire is burning, and the fire in this case is it's a representation of love usually, right? It's like the idea of the heat of our love. But while it still is that, right now that fire is being used to burn all the letters and the words that I tried to forget. And I wonder if that's letters to someone else who she sent, who maybe she felt guilty about after, being like, oh man, I really want to be with this person again. Maybe it's something along that line. Or maybe there are things that she said to this person who is her son, and there are things that, not son like child, son like in the sky, but who is her son. And that's going to sound weird every time I say it, but and then she's trying to take back the things that she said that might have hurt this person, right? That might have made them feel less, and now she's trying to take those back, or trying to burn them. And that's so cool. Oh, this, and the whole, just the song itself, the ambiance, the atmosphere is just perfect. And then here we get the truth, right? Where it's like the whole time, the whole way through, part of us also knew that we didn't really want to be here, right? That we didn't feel happy in this place. And that's why we're painting these pictures of a different image of that person than rather just reaching out to the person themselves. And that's so interesting, right? Because it's almost like you're so in love still, but you're in love with the idea of maybe what the person used to be. And that's why you're trying to recapture that by painting the image. But on top of that, we get now those letters, burning those letters makes so much more sense, because it's actually literally the love letters that she sent to this person who we're no longer with, because she says, leaving you was certainly the hardest part of all. And remember, a minute ago, we were living with uncertainty, but now we're certain that that was the hardest part of all, because it just meant so much to us, that you were so important, but we knew it was going to end. And that's why she says, I was living like a servant to protect a secret. And that secret was that
this was never going to work out. It wasn't going to last. And you weren't happy anymore, and she wasn't happy anymore, and that this needed to go. And that's why we're here. Damn. And now, oh, the change up. I love that now it's giving it all some time, but now it's to get over what we feel we've lost, right? Now it's not just give it all some time to make things work out in the relationship. Now it's give it all some time to make things work out just for ourselves, because things have changed. Now we're no longer with that person. We're still paralyzed in devotion to that person, but now we also know that we're paralyzed in emotion trying to leave, right? And that's that feeling that you get leaving a relationship that there's still that love there, but some of that love is lost, and there's a lot of kind of discrepancy between the two now, and you know it's coming to an end, but neither one of you wants to say anything, so you kind of hold on until breaking point. And that's what it was for her. This was the breaking point, and now she was paralyzed because of the devotion, but also paralyzed in motion of leaving. Damn, that's so good.
I'm still in the dark, paralyzed emotions, lost in winter time.
Ooh, but now it's paralyzed emotions, because they're just all over the place. They're literally in motion, just bouncing around our head. There's the love, there's the hate, there's the anger, there's the grief, there's the desire, there's the lust, there's everything, right? There's everything that's part of a relationship, and all of that now is bouncing around your mind because now you're trying to separate from it. Damn.
Did I do it to myself? It's hard to know for sure. Did I hurt somebody else? 'Cause you're the one thing nothing really matters, but it matters if it matters to you. It's hard to know for sure, but I believe you're always
Ooh, and now we got the sunlight again.
I did it to myself. I did it to you.
I don't even want to pause it. It's just so nice, but in such a tragic way. You know what I mean? And the drums just popping off. There's so many layers to this song. Literally, like meaning-wise, but then also just in the track itself, so many different layers. The synth, there's multiple different synths, and this drum, and then just the piano. So much going on. Even looking at the image now, you get a sense of like, sometimes it's like the sun is rising, sometimes the sun is setting, and that's exactly what that feeling is when you leave. You know what I mean? It's that idea that, yeah, there's some things that feel really good, like it makes sense, but then there's also some things that feel really bad because it just, you want to go back to what that relationship was. And sometimes it's fear of never being able to find someone else again, right? Like there's just things that paralyze us when we're thinking about leaving something that's just not working. And that second kind of resurgence of, did I do it to myself? That whole kind of chorus, now it's a different, now we know what it is. Now it's that loss of that person. This whole song is about kind of moving forward through our grief of the loss of a relationship and the loss of that person. And that hurts especially more so when we know that that person is good, but they just don't work with us. Like there's not that compatibility, even though they're a great person. It makes it even harder because, especially if they're feeling upset about it, you feel broken inside that you hurt them as a result. And then you feel like you need to kind of comfort them, but really that's the opposite of what you need to be doing in that situation, because you comforting them makes them think that there's still the opportunity that something's possible. And you actually kind of make it harder on them to let go. And this whole song is about letting go. And it's about that paralysis, right? It's action paralysis. Just you want to leave, but you also feel like you need to stay. Oh, such a good song. What a great, just the music, the voice, the layers on the track. I really want to know how, I just want to see the makeup of the track itself. Wow, amazing, and such a different vibe from old Carly. Although honestly, I didn't explore too much of her music, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not true, but obviously, most of us know her for "Call Me Maybe," which is not this song, right? This is a completely different experience, and I really like this experience. I also did like "Call Me Maybe," but this is like art. You know what I mean? Fantastic, beautiful. If you stayed to watch, hope that your week is better than your day, your month is better than your week, and your year is better than your month. Love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.